Welcome to episode 85 of the Zeens and Roger Crochet Vlogcast. I'm Rosina, a crochet designer coming to you from the southwest of the UK. You can find me on Instagram, Pinterest and my blog, all the usual places, blah blah blah, boring stuff. I hope you are well. I was going to say something right from the very word go and I've forgotten what it is already. Don't know. Anyway, this one's going to be about my mittens and wrist warmers and all things that one wears on their hands to keep them warm in the cold weather, which is what it is at the moment. I hope I brought it all upstairs with me. I'm feeling a little bit weird because I've got no viewfinder, so I'm having to do some guesswork here. My viewfinder is on my phone now. I can see, if I want to see what I'm looking at the screen, I have to show this basically. It's a new setup. I don't know what it's going to be like, so we shall see. So gloves and mittens really, or mittens and wrist warmers, and cowls and cardis and jumpers. I am calling this one episode 85, even though last week I did publish an episode. I didn't number that one though, because it was basically a very yarn specific episode. I didn't know if it would fit kind of nice and smoothly, so I haven't numbered it, although technically you could argue that it's just a normal episode. I mean, I talk about good stuff, all crochet related, so if you want to check that one out, do. I didn't number it, and actually it's got loads fewer viewings than normal, so I wonder if that's why, or people just aren't up for watching a podcast at the minute. I don't know. I'm very excited because I get to tell you about a new design that I really like. I don't know, is it going to auto... Do we have autofocus? This may or may not be blurry, I do not know. Anyway, these are being released in issue 132 of Inside Crochet magazine, which is released this week. It's not out till Thursday, but I thought I may as well tell you about them now, because otherwise it will be ages before I get to tell you again. So basically I released my Directly mittens, and on the very day I released them, Inside Crochet got in touch and said, will you design us some mittens please? And so I was like, yeah, sure. Oh, there's a bit of thread stuck to that one. And so I did, and here they are. I used the same yarn. This is John Arbon Textiles. It is Yarnadelic. And it's very warm. These are a size medium, and I think I've done 3 sizes in the pattern. Yeah, 3 sizes, small, medium, large. I know from having made the Directly mittens that these, you know, there's a lot of variation, so my wrists are a spindly 4.5 centimetres in circumference. I gave my sister a pair of Directly mittens that they're very similar but different. I did make them differently, but my sister's got wider wrists than me, and she fit the medium also, just so you know. That information is all in the Directly mittens. I wrote that out when I did those. So these are called Bifrost. These are the Bifrost mittens, named after the Rainbow Road from Norse mythology, just because I thought it was a cool name. And here they are. I'm having to do everything back to front, and weirdly, see, as I look down I'm looking at the screen, just to put you off a little bit. Lots of nice things in this issue. That's a poncho. I won't show you, I won't go through everything. Let me show you this page though. Here's a page. So you've got socks, a stripy cushion, oh, a blanket. That's by Faye of the Crochet Circle podcast. And oh, those mittens are mine. And then, oh, why not? Because I'm on the other side. I'll get used to this mirroring lark. But the usual plethora of fantastic patterns in Inside Crochet Mag. It came with a free hook and some stitch markers in a little tin as well. But as always, I love Inside Crochet. It's fab. So those are the Bifrost Mittens. I don't know what to say about them really, because I'm getting to the point where I'm mittened out. I think I'm done with my playful experiments of how can I change it, what can I do, what if I did it like this, and a constant kind of striving to make the very best you can. I've made countless pairs of mittens in the last 6 months, or wrist warmers or whatever. I feel like I've got a grasp on a really good construction now. And my god though, the possibilities are endless, aren't they? The colour work you can do. I mean, Bernie Sanders mittens, you could totally do that with these, but I mean, I've got to draw a line somewhere. The line has been drawn and I'm not making any more mittens for at least another 8 months, 9 months. Not until September am I going to even start thinking about mittens again. This is a heavy, it's marketed as a heavy 4-ply or sport weight. When working with it, this is another project. When working with it, I've likened it to, yeah, a plump 4-ply basically. So not necessarily as fine as a sock weight yarn that you might make socks with, funnily enough. It's got kind of a bit more woolly it's got, I think the halo is the thing that makes it plumper. A yarn that I would maybe liken it to, having recently worked with it, is Scapious Metropolis. I think that's fairly similar in yarn weight, but I'll talk about that more in maybe the next episode, because the project I've made 2 projects with the Scapious Metropolis. One was a commission that I maybe worked on in October. I think the deadline was October, so I was working on it before then. And then I had some yarn left over from that project, so I've made a cowl design with it. And I might save it till next episode. Well, I will save it till next episode, because I'm also trying it with a different weight yarn. I'm getting really hot. Hang on. Okie dokes. I went out for a walk with the youngest today. I don't think he's very well. He woke up with a gammy eye this morning. I won't tell you what I told him this morning, which is basically that he's a grubby toad and should keep his hands clean. But also he had hives last week for 2-3 days, like really bad hives all over his body, and we haven't found a trigger. We don't know what's wrong. I mean, he has got asthma, so maybe he's just susceptible to things like that, and we're thinking allergies, but we can't work out what. Not dairy, we know that much. But other than that, I mean, we haven't tried anything new. There's no new cleaning products in the house. Just don't know. Maybe he's allergic to stay-at-home schooling. Anyway, we went for a walk. And I wore my new cowl. It's really nice, I really like it. I mean, so simple, stripes. And to accompany the cowl, and actually the wrist warmers came first. I made these on Christmas Day and Boxing Day, watching The Mandalorian. It's just started chucking it down. Some stripy wrist warmers, really long down the arm, keeping the actual wrists warm. I wonder what happens. Is that blurry or what? So I've just released the two as a new pattern the other day. There's 25% off until the 13th of February, which is probably a Saturday. I don't know. It's the 2nd February today, I think. Don't know. The set is called Companions. It's called Companions because of lots of different reasons. One, there's a quote from Matisse about lines being nothing by themselves, but they must have a companion to become something more. So, I mean, speaks volumes, right? That says it all. But also, when I first showed a picture of these on Instagram, a couple of people said, oh, that's like the Doctor Who scarf. And as we know, Doctor Who always has a companion. And then, you know, the cowl and the wrist warmers are companions to one another. So they are companions. They've been fully tested. And they've been tested in lots of different wools, actually. So I think, Amanda, am I right in thinking, did you do a sock weight yarn in the end? Like a Vinkering weight? And they worked out all right? I can't remember. It's difficult, isn't it? Because for something where you may want some level of fittedness, you want to substitute the yarns for something pretty much that's going to be the same, just so you get a good fit. I mean, again, these are differently made from the mittens purely because you've got to accommodate for the fact that your forearm is bigger than your wrist and all that jazz. So the increases and whatnot are different, but there's some movement in there as well. So they're not like negative ease all the way, but neither are they completely and utterly loose. Again, John Arbon Yarnadelic, which just celebrated its 1st anniversary, so it was a new yarn this time last year. I used the leftovers from Directly and Bifrost Mittens to make this. I'd had lots and lots of 25-gram mini Hanks skeins, as well as I'd bought the reason I've got so much of this though, this Black Gold of the Sun is what it's called, is because I'd bought an extra 100 grams of that myself to do some more wrist warmers. And what else did I bought a couple of other bits as well, and the rest was actually, yeah, sent to me as yarn support from John Arbon. Just so you know, just to keep it transparent. I don't know what to do with my hands. Other than that, I love these so much. Really pleased with how these have all turned out. And basically, it's shown me, just to keep things simple, don't be a smarty pants and try and do fancy things when you don't need to. Sometimes simple is the way to go. Oh, what I was going to do actually is, I've forgotten, because I was going to do right at the beginning of the episode, which is a giveaway. I was meant to do it I was probably meant to do it before Christmas actually. I've talked about this before, which is a pattern book from Wool on the X, which is arguably my local yarn store. Even it's in Exeter. I am in a town outside of Exeter, but we don't have a wool shop anymore. No, we don't. It closed down a year ago, but every now and again they open just to try and sell like their leftover stock. But I think all the wool has gone, and it's just sort of really old fabric that nobody wants anymore. And then arguably my garden centre is closer, but it's just Stylecraft yarn. Wool on the X is where they've got some commercial yarns, as well as hand-dyed beauties and lots of other yarns. They are where I attended a continental knitting workshop, which was brilliant because I left a continental knitter, so it worked. But they also came up with this, which is a collection of 8 knitting patterns, 5 crochet patterns, 2 needle felting tutorials, an essay and a recipe, all contributed by the Wool on the X community. Proceeds from this book will be split between the charity Knit for Peace and the social enterprise project of Wool on the X. So basically that's awesome. I bought this book. I was gifted one and I bought this one especially. I knew I was going to do a giveaway with it, but because of the hecticness of Christmas and all that, I forgot to do it when I actually bought it, when it arrived before Christmas. I have a pattern in here. I'm going to show you again, even though I've shown you in a previous episode. Here's a detail of it being worn. It is called Quayside. It's got, oh my god, it's got some houndstooth stitch detailing, but for the most part it's a colour work shawl with some striping. I think arguably it's intarsia crochet, but I forget the difference between intarsia crochet and another crochet that I've forgotten what it's called. I'm a professional. I should know these things and I totally forget all the time. So if you would like to win a copy, please leave a lovely comment down below saying why you would like to win a copy. And I'll pull a winner the next time I go to record, which I think might be a month's time. So we're looking at the beginning of March for the next episode. And so I'll send that. I don't think that'll be too expensive to post anywhere in the world, so it's open to everybody. I'll try and keep it nice and tidy for you. But I'm a messy pig, so. Right, I'm going to get my... I don't know if this will work, all recording in one fell swoop. I hope so. It hasn't cut off yet. It still says it's recording, but I did get a warning about saying that the camera might get a bit warm. Feels alright. Alright. A bit warm. Oh, good job I checked my notes, which are written in my book. It says also that John Arbor Textiles, them again, SARS, I like them, alright. They did a podcast recently to celebrate the Yarnadelic 1-year birthday anniversary of the release of Yarnadelic, and it's got my Directly mittens in it. It's nice to see some crochet in what is sort of probably for them predominantly a bunch of knitters who buy their stuff, which is not necessarily true. I know lots of you do love John Arbor Textiles and do buy their yarn, but like, looking at the marketing of most yarn companies, we do often see knitting as the predominant art craft. I've actually texted them. I don't know if I got. I think I've had a reply and I haven't checked yet. I've said, you know, what other crochet do you want to see? I want there to be more and they've come back to me, and I can't remember what they said, but yeah, basically they're up for it. But I want that in all yarn suppliers really, and that's where Morit comes into play, isn't it? I'm sure you've heard of Morit. If you haven't, where have you been? Morit is a brand spanking new crochet magazine. It's dead exciting. Thrilled for Alison as well, whose baby it is. I hate saying brainchild. What's another term? Because saying somebody's baby is stupid. Can't think of an alternative, so it'll suffice. But funding has already been met. There was a Kickstarter campaign, and within 2 days the money was raised for issue number 1. But that's outstanding. That's like the whole crochet community coming together going, yes, we want this and we want it to happen now. I mean, I think Alison allowed 23 days, 20, or just a bit over that, to raise enough funds to get this project off the ground, and it was done 2 days. It was done in 2 days. It's magnificent. I am so proud and so awed and so bowled over and all of that. It's cool as you like. And yeah, I'm going to be in it. Very happy about that. Honoured, I guess, and a little bit like, really? Are you going to change your mind? Because yeah, turn around and say, do you know what, sorry, actually we found somebody better, and you know, you can come in a future episode issue, but not for number 1, yeah? I keep expecting that. But yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be so good. I can't remember why I started talking about that. I've forgotten. I think it pushed its way to the front of my brain because it was important and I love it. I can't remember. Anyway, oh, I was going to talk about something else, but it's downstairs. I could go and get it, couldn't I? Let me go and get this cute little thing. Can somebody make me today, please? I bought these anyway. They're cute little... I hope it's not too bright now. The light's gone a bit peculiar. I haven't taken photographs of these, but I will link them. There's an Instagram account called Make It Better Mag, and this is a little mag, very little. They're going to do a monthly almanac, and I bought January and February the other day because I wanted to have a look. And you get, let me show you February because it's February. So you print it yourself. It comes as an A4 piece of paper. You cut a line and then fold it into this little booklet. It's like £3. I think I paid £3.75, and it has a scarf pattern, and it comes with a chart as well, which is a separate print out. And there's a pattern for knitted washcloths, and there's loads of stuff about inspiration from nature, plants and birds and the moon. Jammy Love Hut. So there's a recipe, there's stuff about refashioning old garments, more stuff about gardening and mint, and then how to make a booklet out of a cereal packet and some other bits and bobs, all on one sheet of A4 paper. And I bought the the January one as well. Oh my god. Make It Better, it's called. So you can find them on Instagram. But I bought this from Still in Stitch's Etsy shop, which is, she's called Emma, is it Friedlander? Still in Stitch. Really good crochet account for crochet hacking and stuff like that. So proper inspirational stuff. What should I say? I won't just give credit to Emma because it's also involved other people as well. On the back it says it's Still and Stitch, So Yeah, Make E and Katie Jones Knit. So it's a collaboration and they're cute. I think that for me that's one of the biggest kind of draws. It's like, oh, I want all 12 and they're so cute. But also just because it's small doesn't mean to say there's nothing there. It's got loads of stuff in just one issue. I bought those and I thought I'd tell you about them. I had almost forgotten though, it's true. Just a quickie, right, I got sent this by King Cole. It is 100% pure new wool and it is 250 grams of merino blend double knit superwash wool. Now the ambassadors were sent this and sort of said feel free to dye it. How do I dye it? What do I do? Cheers, thanks. I would like to give it a go but I don't know what I'm doing. That was just a brief request for advice. Right, we're on to whips. Whips. Sorry, I didn't see the side of my head constantly. I was looking at my notes then, not my face. Can't actually see my face. Hang on. I'm holding up my phone. Hello, me. Right, next. I'm making another cardigan. I'm quite far in actually. I'm pleased this has worked up so fast and I've written down what I'm doing. It's fairly straightforward, but, and I would like to release it if there's any interest. But before I released it I would need to pull my finger out and sort out grading. I'm frightened. It's one of those things that I've just made into such a big deal and it's completely unnecessary. I've been talking for about 15 minutes and it hasn't been recording. So I'm pretty annoyed about that. I was talking about my cardigan. I've talked about that, moved on to another whip and everything. Oh God. Oh, now I'm going to have to repeat the magic. I don't know if I can. I'm so cross. Right, okay, so I've done one sleeve, I've done two sleeves, I've done the body, and yes, I've done it all in one piece again, as in the J.W. Anderson cardigan I made, and just built the splits for the sleeves into it. So it would look something akin to I've done all this before. These acrobatics are not something I was planning on doing twice. There you go. Doo doo doo. Can you get the gist, right? I mean, I can show you another day when it's better. It's great stash buster. In fact, I have run out. I ran out of the pink, so I had to put in some lilac there. I ran out of It's all paint box Aran yarn, mostly 50-50, so 50 acrylic, 50 wool. But I ran out of the 50-50 on the orange, and so this is actually 100% acrylic on the sleeves. But you can't really tell. There's some difference in colour, like I think the acrylic's slightly more saturated, and I don't know if that's because it's shinier and just more, you know, the wool is more of a matte. But it's a bit of quibbling really if you are looking that closely. So both sleeves are done, and so I've run out of the brown as well, and on this sleeve I'm a row or two short on the brown, so I've just done more of this washed teal colour. Also, for the top couple of rows it's acrylic again, 100% acrylic rather than the 50-50 down below. I don't know if you can tell really, and I don't care. So I've even managed to sew the sleeves together. I could potentially, like, quick as a whip, do the sleeves to the body as well and do the shoulders, but I want to do the ribbing first. So there's ribbing on the waistband, the cuffs, and then the button band. But that's my least favourite thing to do. I hate making ribbing, so I haven't done it yet. I'm pretty sure it won't take too long, especially if I do it with half doubles rather than single. But I do have lilac, a whole ball, sorry it's blowing out, whole ball of lilac to do the waistband and the cuffs, and then hopefully enough to do the button band, but I'm a bit anxious and not sure. That's not a full ball, so I'm not 100%. But my stripes are pretty uniform in that they're all I wanted them all to be the same number of rows per colour stripe, but there's nothing to stop anybody from just putting in whatever. If it's all the same yarn weight, then you could use whatever's in the stash and just make a real hodgepodge version. That would look pretty amazing. I'm sure I said some other stuff about it, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet now because I'm frightened that this is going to I'm frightened that it's going to cut out again. Moving on to my next whip. And I do have another one or two downstairs in my basket, but I'm not going to talk about them today. I'll wait. So this is the Colourpop sweater by Jewel Me of My Square Hat. I really like Jewel Me's brain. I think she comes up with some very interesting construction of projects, whether or not it's a shawl or in this case a jumper. It's always really interesting. In a good way as well. Interesting is not a euphemism for rubbish. It is genuinely, like, as a crochet designer, it's just like, ooh, I've never seen that before, how intriguing. It's good stuff. So I am one sleeve in. I have added an extra 10 rows to my sleeves because I made 1.5 and frogged back because I didn't like the colourways I was using. I did get advice from YouTube comments from the episode where I talked about it last time, end of last year, and I got some good advice and I think I went with the colour order that was discussed in the comments. I definitely wanted to keep the blue sleeves, and then this colour here is like an oatmeal-y colour with green flecks of dark green, neon green and all in between. It's fabulous and it's my favourite. I would like a whole jumper out of this, but this and this are Long Dog Yarns, which is a California based yarn dyer, and I'm probably never going to get my hands on it again, but it is an absolute stunner. It's thanks to Claudia of Crochet Luna that I have these in the first place. What are we without our crochet friends? And then, hello Claudia, I hope you're well. and this is what's it called? Mr. B. Is it called Mr. B? Mr. B's yarns, is that right? Yeah, can't remember, but it's called Jasper, this rust colour. And then I'm moving on to, I'm going to blend in for the front, a colourway called Cemetery Gates by Beehive Yarns. They're all double knit. This is a double knit jumper, and it's all 100% merino, I think, superwash. And it's a really fun project. I'm really enjoying it. Proven by the fact that I was willing to frog the sleeves, and I'm still working on it. That's like tantamount to a miracle as far as I'm concerned. That I'm still going with it, still working on it, having frogged that much work. Get over to the right spot, you moron. That's my dodgy colour changes there. Pretty sure they can be done a bit more expertly than that. That funny line in the halfway point, that's where it's going to be on my side. And yeah, I'm on my second sleeve now. I shall probably work on this tonight. It's a nice one to sit in front of the TV and do, actually. Although it looks complicated, yeah, do the reading at first, read through the pattern first, always a must. And then once you've done that and you get your head around it, actually, it's pretty nice and mindful. You do have to remember to put your increases in the right place, but other than that, it's really good fun. I'm really enjoying it. My only concern is I'm not sure if the length is going to be perfect, but I don't know quite what I want yet. But there's no adjusting the length now. I am not going to frog this back if it's too short or too long. I don't think so. I think it's going to be just fine. There's two in the pattern, two options for the length, so that's pretty good. And also, I don't know if I've said this in this bit of footage or if it's a bit of footage that never was footage because the camera cut out. The fading is mine. That's not in the pattern. It does, however, come from Julmie's brain because it's very similar to the fading that she did in her Crochet Fade shawl. I did ask her because if you're curious about a pattern and you have questions, the best thing to do, as always, is contact the designer. I am happy for people to contact me if they have queries about my designs, always. But I do get often queries about other people's designs as well. But I don't want to give advice on other people's designs because, well, one, I might get it wrong, and two, why not ask the designer? They'll know the best. They're the best people to ask. So if you ever have a question about my patterns, my designs, please, that's not the doorbell, isn't it? Please contact me instead. If you've got, instead. Don't sit there going, oh no, what do I do? Ask me a question, it's fine. I mentioned it in the last episode with the yarn episode about a foundation start video. So I've done a tutorial which I show you how to do a foundationless or a foundation start. I don't know the official term, it's called all sorts of things. For a single crochet, a half double crochet and a double crochet, or if you're in the UK, that's a double crochet, a half treble crochet or a treble crochet. So rather than doing a massive long chain, you can do this foundation start, which I think is banging. It's so much nicer and much more uniform and less of an arse than making a massive chain. In that video I also demonstrate how to do the beginnings of a cuff, because that's how I start all my mittens, with this foundation chain, foundation treble. And because I had a query about it, I decided to also add in at the end of the video just how you do that foundation chain then join it and begin the cuff. Just tagged it on the end. It's all time stamped. It's brilliant. As always, thank you for getting to the end. Please do, I don't know, yeah, thumbs it up, up the thumb, leave a comment, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe. And then also, if you would like to buy me a coffee to show your support, then I have a Ko-fi account. It would also probably be helping me pay off my new camera, not actually by buying me a coffee, because I don't like coffee, it's horrible. Don't forget, there's the Patreon community as well. I do have a Patreon account. I don't have tiers yet, but as I've been saying for ages, tiers are on the way. Usually for patrons they get a free pattern once a month. And I try and do an extra video and or something else. I want to do giveaways as well at some point, and because it's quite a small community, the chances of winning a prize would be quite high. Anyway, that's it. Don't think I've got anything else to say really. Oh, it's not written down in my notes, but on the advice of Gay Gillespie, that's Gigi Made It on Instagram, I bought the book that's called Move the Needle by Shelley Brander. It's about a woman in America who started up a yarn shop. It's about her journey to get to opening up a yarn shop. Her background actually meant that she had a good idea about some of the aspects of running a business, and I just found it really interesting, especially from a business, sort of small business point of view. I listened to it on my way to work rather than actually sat there with a book in my hands. I walk, if it's not horrible weather, I can walk from the park and ride to my office in about half an hour. So half an hour in the morning, I listen to the story, the book, and then half an hour on my way home. I do the same. And then actually I found myself going at the weekends, oh, I'll just listen to that for another few minutes. I enjoyed it that much. And I'm going to take some advice from that book and put it towards my small business. It's not necessarily a book, it's not like a book on advice for small businesses, but if you are a small business and want to have a listen for that reason, then awesome. But also just as an interesting, this has got stories about her life, it's sort of her memoirs mixed into it, so it's not just like, here's how you start a small yarn business or whatever. So that's my recommendation. And that's it. I'm about an hour late to, I always seem to record these when it's like pizza dough day. I need to go make pizza dough. Last night we made the most revolting bean burgers. I knew they were going to be disgusting. You could see it as we were mixing it together. It was like slops. Grim. That's a nightmare I don't want to repeat. Other than that, no goss. Got nothing. But I'll be back next time. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you made it this far. Hope you're well. I really need a wee now. I will see you again next time. Thank you. Bye bye.